Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Kody Klenow on the line, and he's Regional Sales Director over at McClatchy. Kody, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me, Adam, and go green, go white. It's always good to speak with a fellow Spartan.
Love to have some Spartans on the show. Not going to lie, it's what I do. So welcome, and I'm excited to get into what you're doing at McClatchy, and also what we're going to get into a little bit of sales here today. So you're a regional sales director. We want to get some sales skills for our listeners also. But before we do that, let's get a little bit further into your background. So how did you get started in your career?
I actually grew up with a family of small business owners. So I've always kind of been passionate about business, about helping businesses grow and things like that. My father and my brothers, they're more the hands-on folks. So they do. We own a plumbing company in Michigan, a couple of handyman companies in Michigan, and then I went the opposite route and I sit behind a desk all day. So a little bit different than them, but
I love it. So one person has the motor skills, the other one has the talking skills. I get it.
Exactly. So still passion for business, just a different side of things. But I graduated from Michigan State, like I said, and really when I got started at Michigan State, like a lot of other students, I didn't really necessarily know what path I wanted to choose. I knew I was interested in business. I knew I enjoyed speaking with people and learning about businesses, but didn't really know where that fit. I started selling insurance at State Farm Insurance locally in the Lansing area, and I actually just started there as kind of a receptionist. I needed some money to pay bills and things like that to put myself through school. And when I got started there, I started answering phone calls, and it was just natural. I would notice that someone was in an apartment complex or something of that nature, and I'd say, hey, you have your auto insurance with us. Why don't you have renter's insurance with us? You're in an apartment, I see. And the agent there said, Kody, why are you selling? It's not really your job. And I said, I don't know. I just kind of comes naturally. So he actually promoted me to being a salesperson rather than just a receptionist. So that's kind of how the sales bug got in me. I sold insurance for 4 years to put myself through school, and then once I graduated, got into other sales roles. So that's where I am right now.
Man, what a great story. I love it. So you were doing some needs analysis and doing sales when you weren't even supposed to be doing it. You can't hold this guy back. That's awesome, Kody. So let's switch it up a bit. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at McClatchy.
Yeah, so McClatchy is a nationwide publishing company. So with that, we own newspapers across the country. So we are in 30 markets spanning from California all the way to Florida, the Carolinas, so really across the country. And with that, everyone here listening to a podcast is probably thinking newspapers, those things are dying. Well, the print paper is declining in circulation, but with that, people are just digesting their news a little bit differently. So a lot of our sales have moved to a digital format. And really what me and my team do is meet with business owners of all sizes, do, to your point, needs evaluations and really understand their business and what their needs are for the upcoming year. We then go back with our team and develop a plan for them. It's all tailored specifically to their business, what they're looking to accomplish, what budget they might have, what they've had success with in the past, things of that nature. And then we come back out and present to that business. And it's really more of a consultative approach, saying, here's out of all the things that we do, here's what we think is going to accomplish your top goals and what the costs associated with those would be. That's all free up front. We provide that research and information to the client up front for free, and at that point, we would love to have their business, but at least they're armed with the knowledge to make insightful decisions for their business. So We offer anything from social media advertising, website development, SEO, SEM, email blasts, retargeting, all the creepy stuff online where you think people are listening to you or things are following you around online. We do the whole 9 yards.
So, Kody, I want to switch it up a bit. Let's get into some sales here. So you started in sales pretty young. You always were the type, it sounds to me like, to make that connection with the client over the phone. Where do you find, I like to usually start with what people are doing wrong. So obviously when you're working with salespeople, what do you find that a lot of people are doing wrong in their sales approach?
I think that a lot of salespeople, especially young salespeople, are trying to maybe push a product way too early in the process. I think that when you can provide value up front, whether it be free research or insights on what their specific industry is finding important nowadays, things of that nature where you're actually providing value before asking for an appointment, before asking for money or something like that, that allows you to build a deeper relationship with your clients and let them know that you really are there looking out for their best interests and not just trying to make a buck. If you can do that up front, provide value up front, it really does pay dividend in the back end. So I think rather than leading with product, really lead with information, providing value, and building that relationship up front.
Let's talk about lead type. So meaning inbound versus outbound, cold versus inbound marketing, because I know at McClatchy, obviously you're doing digital marketing also. So not just for you, but for your clients, a big important thing to do is to drive leads. So are there any differences or nuances you find in handling that inbound traffic versus, just that cold call approach, if you will?
Yeah, so, it's like you said, there's two different types of that for us specifically, because we are a marketing company and we're providing those services to our clients, but we also have to go out and get new clients. So I guess I'll speak with it for both ways. As far as McClatchy goes for obtaining new business, the first thing what we'd like to do is have all of our business be referral. If we provide great services to different clients, we ask for referrals, and we ask if there's other business owners that they know that might be able to benefit from the services that we're already providing them. As far as cold calling goes, though, I think that a lot of salespeople, it is a necessary evil. You do have to be prospecting, but there are ways that you can warm up that call and make it, I guess, a little bit less cold. Just be prepared when you are about to make that call. Take a few minutes to peruse their website, peruse the potential client's social media, use some tools to see what they're doing out there in the advertising world already. Know the client a little bit more before you go into that conversation. That way it's a little warmer. You might actually know a little bit of a little tidbit or value that you can provide over the phone that makes that conversation a little bit easier. So that's how I would really go about cold calling, is just make sure you're doing a little bit of research up front, not necessarily always just smiling and dialing.
That's awesome. And for digital marketing and the sales aspect of what that looks like. So I agree with you on the cold calling thing. I agree on on picking up the phone, but then that digital marketing side, it's just powerful. Let's go into that a little bit and what that looks like in a sales process.
Yeah, so a lot of the services that we provide to our client, we have about 20 different solutions, we call them. And each of those solutions really accomplishes a different goal for a client. So kind of like I spoke in the beginning, we really want to have a consultative approach. We want to sit down and really get to know a client and what their needs are first, so then we can match them up with the appropriate solutions. If we know that, hey, really the number one goal is to get the phones ringing at the office and to really drive sales, at that point we'll look at maybe building a really nice website for them and matching that with Google AdWords, where if someone searches for plumbing near me, they're showing up at the top of the page and they're able to then attract those leads. If, on the other hand, a business is looking to just get their brand out there, or maybe, make sure that if someone thinks of the top podcast in the country, that they think of Adam Torres. In that case, maybe we do more of a branding approach. And if someone types in podcasts, or someone types in, entrepreneurial tips on Google or Facebook or wherever they might type that in, we can then follow that individual around with your messaging. So, for example, we'll use that plumbing company again. I'm a potential customer. I have water in my basement. So I go to Google and I type in water in my basement. At that point, I probably see some ads on Google, but then maybe all of a sudden I get busy and I don't act on that right away. The next day, I'm a sports fan. I might go to ESPN to look up my Spartans and see how they did last night. Now, if I go to ESPN, I could potentially see that plumbing company's display ad on ESPN because I performed that search. So there's just different ways to go about getting your message in front of clients. It all depends on kind of what your KPIs are, what you're looking to accomplish, and then making sure that you have the right solutions to accomplish the right goals.
Man, that's awesome, Kody. Let's see. So if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on McClatchy or to reach out, what's the best way for them to do that?
I would say the best way to reach out to me personally would be LinkedIn, to connect with me on LinkedIn and shoot me a message there. If not, if you're looking for, research on marketing or anything of that nature and want to connect, we do service the entire country, actually the entire world, really. And you could always shoot me an email. My email is K, and then my last name, Klenow, K-L-E, N as in Nancy, O-W, at McClatchy.com. And that's MCCLATCHY.com.
Fantastic. Hey, Kody, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great work you're doing over at McClatchy. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. I do really appreciate it. Without you listening, we don't have a show, so thank you. Don't forget to also subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. And Kody, thanks again for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and go green.